He talks well there. He's so in control, isn't he, of what his plan is in a game like this. I don't know why it is, but for whatever reason, this competition and Unai Emery, it just goes together. He knows how to make it successful.
Well, he's a proven winner in this competition. He sets his teams up well. They've always had that attacking threat. Now that he's going with the two strikers, that seems to be something that he's now worked on. I think they introduced that sort of the Chelsea Spurs games when they started playing them in the Premier League, and he knows the formation he wants to play with and the players he can rely upon, and he's gone through a process. Okay, defensively it's been a problem, and the back end of the season has really disappeared for them away from home, but this makes up for that. As long as he goes and wins a trophy and wins it again, I think that experience is good for the club, good for the current players that are there, because Arsenal have gone missing in Europe for a number of years, been unlucky for various reasons, not won a European trophy. Perhaps this is the year.
Is it a case of you win it once or twice and you, as a manager, you have such confidence about a certain competition that just breeds through to your players and they react to that, and for some reason it just starts to work?
Well, he's obviously a master tactician.
Yeah, but leagues and Champions Leagues, it's this competition, isn't it?
Yes, it's the second one down, isn't it? Champions League obviously is the number one, the one you want to win, but he's obviously got something very special, and Arsenal need to back him. I think when you get somebody in like Emery who's on the verge, obviously they've not won this fourth yet, but again, tactics in terms of, people talk about Rafa Benitez being a great tactician, setting up a team that quite individually are not as good as the opposition, but the way that he sets the team out, he's chopped and changed a lot this season. Strikers have made a big difference to him getting results, but when they drew Napoli, all of a sudden people were saying that's it, Arsenal are done. They beat Napoli home and away, and they've gone and beat Valencia home and away. That for me is telling Arsenal, telling the hierarchy and the money men, you've got to back this man. If you want success, it's been a brilliant season. They should have finished.
I think so. I think this is a brilliant
It's a brilliant season, Jake. They should have finished in the top four in the league.
Didn't.
It will be,
yeah,
if he can win. If he wins the Europa League.
Hold on, I'm talking, right? They should have finished in the top four, yeah? They lost to three teams that are below them that they should. Even if they took a win and a draw, 4 points.
That doesn't make it a successful Premier League season, though.
Well, on the back of what they had when he first came in, and when Arsene Wenger was relieved of his duties, if you like, I think he's had a fantastic season.
If you look, though, John, at Arsene Wenger's last season, his worst finish for 23 years, they finished on 64 points, they're on 67. They lost 13 away games, 13 games, they lost 10. Yeah. So it's very close, but actually he's turning the club around, and it will now need resources to make changes to the personnel. That's the next step. That's what needs to be supported to do. Meanwhile, let's go and win a trophy. And I think he's got this, we have to say as well done for doing it. This Thursday night football for me, people can say, all the people, the journalists, everyone, it doesn't make any difference, the same number of days rest. No, it isn't. It makes the week very, very difficult. And he's a workaholic. Yeah. And it's as well that he is, because he's had to put a tremendous amount of energy in. I think sometimes he's a little bit too emotional, and I think he needs to step back a little bit and make really important decisions on the pitch.
But you don't think you see enough emotion from the Arsenal players? So maybe that's something that they need as a manager with a...
Yes, but he's seeing that, so he's trying to make up for that. And the more that he does that, the clapping of the hands, he's sort of the dynamo, then he's not really there to think and make proper decisions, which he needs to be. And that's the next step for him.
Some players are just not emotional. What were we saying then?
We're talking about the lack of emotion, Martin. We're talking about the lack of emotion from the players compared to Mora crying.
Some people can't show that. Yeah. People show it in a different way, emotion. Some people are very emotional. Somebody show some...
But John, I think we're talking about intensity of play.
Yeah, that's different from emotion.
Well, it's an emotion.
Emotion's a feeling, and intensity is the way you go and rattle into people and go and close down as a group. Emotion is differently to intensity.
But I do feel this guy is feeling, he's beating a drum to give the guys the energy, the beat that they need to work to. We see it with Jurgen Klopp, we see it with Guardiola, we see it now with Pochettino, the same thing. The players, we want the Arsenal players to sort of be a little bit more infectious with one another. It's coming, the front players are leading the way for that. Maitland-Niles having a difficult time at right back, didn't really see anybody go across and say, hey, remind him of the expectations of this football club and be together. You're not on your own. Mm-hmm. Those sorts of moments the club need to grow with. That's why I want Petr Cech at the club. That winning mentality to be passed on to the next group.
When you look ahead to what happens in Baku in 20 days' time, what is more important for you? Obviously, the two will come together. Is it winning this trophy? and feeling that under the new manager they finally won something, or is it the fact that this gives them the route back into the Champions League? And also, let's remember, this is a manager who would love to say, I'm not just a Europa League winning manager, I want to prove myself in the top tier.
Well, it's both, isn't it? To win it, you've got to win it to get into the Champions League.
But what's the most important element, though?
It's almost perfect, though, because you get a trophy, don't you? You don't get one for coming fourth, as the Arsenal fans said for so many years. And maybe Arsenal didn't exploit that. That's a story that's now gone. It's about looking to the future. If Arsenal make it and win a trophy into the Champions League, they're in the mix for all the top signings. Lots of recruitment's going to happen in the summer, because what the two teams in England are doing, Liverpool, I mean, OK, Spurs are in the Champions League, but really Liverpool, Man City are pulling away. The number of points that they've got, and that gap will need to be closed, and Arsenal need to get into the top four proper.
Champions League and non-Champions League players.
They've got to back him, they've got to give him funds, because this guy will take you, I think he'll take Arsenal even further, given the resources.
OK, let's talk about the final, how you deliver in a final. I know you don't want to talk about this moment specifically, but the point is, a moment happened to you in a European final that haunts you to this day. You still lay your head on the pillow at night and think back to that moment. The Arsenal players don't want to have that moment.
Well, look, no, exactly. So we shouldn't be showing it. But
it's relevant, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've made a run and tried to cut in for some reason. Look, Davor-Suker then penalties, missed his first ever penalty. By the way, I did make an outstanding clearance a couple of minutes after that, but you're not going to show that because the research guy hasn't bothered to look. But anyway, and Patrick Vieira, another player that you can rely upon.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't. I mean, the penalties in that end of the pitch was just horrific. And okay, we had to accept it, but we were way better than them on the night. But I hope that doesn't happen.
It's just about no regrets, isn't it? That's what it's about.
There's a way to play a final.
Martin should just stick to clearing it and heading it. Never mind talking about goal scoring. He was good at that. Do what you're good at.
Exactly. What is a final mindset? What is the right mindset to play?
I think in a final that there is a way to play. You trust your teammates. You can't fly around doing everybody else's job. Trust your teammates, set to your plan, and then hope for the really good players turn up and deliver. And that's what they've done tonight. And hopefully they do that in a final.
Okay. The emergency services have come to collect the analysis guy that you've just nailed there with a two-footer. Right, we're going to take a quick break.
It's playing together.
Well, you know, we enjoyed a lot.
Convincing performance. How much confidence can you take, especially from your strikers and the way they work together going forward into this final?
Yes, we know they are starting pushing and also taking chances, doing the superiority sometimes with their right and left back, because our striker want to engage, but they attack in this side. But we worked very well doing the basculation, like Xhaka and Lucas Torreira. And after take our moment, and when they score it, be calm. We need to be calm. We spoke in the dressing room, all happened in the pitch after we did need control, our emotion also. And we scored quickly, and I think give us confidence in this match. And after, improve, I think we were improving, passing the minute, we were improving on the pitch, feeling better. And after we can impose our game plan, and also with scoring 4 goals. Again, this team is very, very difficult to score. They are very good team organized, but also when they need the second half attack more, is the moment we can use to do more attack for the transition and scoring.